Hi, and welcome to the Zoe Marley channel, the #1 place for aspiring authors to learn the art of how to tell their story. In today's video, we are going to go over an actual example of a character that I created starting from the very beginning. And at the very end of this video, I'm going to be teaching you a very small, unnoticed technique that is going to help hook your readers. So you've had the spark, you've had the idea, you kind of know what you want to write. Now it's time to start building the world and filling it with characters. Today's character was done, in my opinion, in a very interesting way. I have 5 characters that I will have points of views throughout this first novel with, and this character in particular would be number 3. She's got the 3rd most page time, and I didn't start with the idea of, oh my gosh, I want to make her the most amazing character ever! There's the big bad in the world, and I needed a human sacrifice so they could be introduced in a super epic way, something that will shock the readers, surprise the readers. And so yes, point of view number 3 is intentionally a human sacrifice. And oddly enough, this is something that is like a recurring idea with me, so stay weird, my friends. Alright, so knowing that I was going to kill this character off, it was very easy for me to be like, I want to make this character someone I don't like. So initially when I start thinking about this character and I'm starting to think about how I want this character to act and behave, there are 2 things I do. The first is I look up real life examples. What qualities do people that I tend to not like too much, what qualities do they have? The #1 thing that stands out to me is vanity. I really don't like people that are completely vain. I mean, I planned on killing her. I didn't want to get attached. So yes, I gave her the most unlikable flaw that I've ever seen. Next, I knew I needed to give this character wants. I knew I needed to give this character flaws. And it was easier for me to start with the big flaw first because that was my initial idea, is her being vain. As I stated in this video, her flaws needed to encompass her entire life. And vanity is like one of those things that, especially in a fantasy setting, it was hard for me to imagine how it would affect her entire life, but this is eventually how I did it. 1, she was unhappy with everything in her life. She felt like she didn't have enough money. She felt like there were other ways to be prettier and other things that she could do, and if she could only just go to these places, if she could only go to court, people would realize how beautiful and wonderful and classic she was. And she would feel that connection with people. It had very strained relationships with her family because she felt like she should be getting pampered and that she shouldn't work for anything because she was a special little snowflake. And so as you can see, she's a really unlikable character in the beginning. And there are different ways to make an unlikable character a little more likable. You know, you give them a redeeming quality. You know, hers in the very beginning is that she loves her little sister and takes care of her and will do anything for her. The next way that you can make an unlikable character a little more likable is bring someone even more unlikable into the picture. And so her mother, Meredith's mother, comes in, and she is kind of the reason Meredith is the way Meredith is. She's always harping on her daughter to be picture perfect. And that is a hard quality to live up to. Who isn't going to buckle under that? Who isn't going to have some messed up mentality when that is what you're expected to be? So then once we kind of get a good idea of that, we move on to what the character wants. In this case, Meredith wants to get married, and she wants to get married to someone who's rich, who's going to be able to buy her all of these lavish gowns and dresses and shoes, and she can do whatever with her hair and makeup. Another reason she wants to get married is she really believes that love is everything in the world. She is young and a little naive due to this, even though she's grown up seeing that her mother and her father's marriage has not been the greatest. For some reason, she has gotten this idea that marriage is going to solve every issue for her and it's going to bring her happiness. So a character arc is very simple. People make it a lot harder than it needs to be. It starts off with a flawed character with issues. And you see this flaw because it's affecting everything in that character's life, right? Next is there's going to be a reason for the character to change this specific flaw. That's that muddy middle, you're going to get to it. And then at the end, your character is going to either find balance with this flaw or your character is going to be changing for the better. That is your character arc for the most part. There are different kinds of character arcs. I would say that is the most common one. So now we've answered the flaw, we've discussed how it consumes her life, and then we've answered what she wants. So what's next? What does she need? So I kind of mentioned how her idea of a husband is, it's almost like going to be a fix for everything. You know, that's her golden ticket. She's Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, right? But what she needs is totally different. She needs to be able to find happiness for happiness' sake. She's been raised and brainwashed to believe that vanity and status and money, that's all that matters in the world. But at the end of the day, she pretty much had that. She didn't recognize she had it, but she had that, and it didn't make her happy. So what is going to make her truly happy? And she needs to realize that marriage, another person, isn't the key to happiness. It's from within. Now I know what you guys are thinking. You are like, holy moly, this is a lot of work for a human sacrifice. I know. I thought the same thing. Here I was 100% committed to not liking this character and not letting her be a darling of mine, so when the time came to kill her, it wouldn't bother me so much. But I ended up loving her so much, and she actually became one of my most favorite characters I've ever written. So in the very first part of the story, we are introducing this character. We're showing her vain side. We're showing all the ways that it is going to mess with her world. She gets to a breaking point. I give her a few redeeming qualities by giving her her little sister that she loves so much, and then showing why she is the way she is by introducing this absolutely terrible mother. We understand what she wants. We understand what she needs. And now we know that we have to give her a golden ticket, and it's got to fail. The way I'm going to give her a golden ticket is I am going to give her the man of her dreams, baby. And guess what? In this golden ticket, she's going to get married. She's going to get married to the man of her dreams. And it's not going to be anything she thought it would be. So I give her the golden ticket, and then I make her fail. Yes, she technically succeeded by getting married. That really wasn't her goal. She thought that was her goal. But her goal was to find happiness through that marriage, was to get, you know, fame, rich, and fortune, whatever. Fame, fortune. She was going to be getting fame and fortune out of this guy, right? And that is what she wanted, and that is what she thought would make her happy. And so her failure is actually realizing this isn't what she wanted in life. So there you go, very quickly, how I made my character. But do not worry, this is not over. I have a few FAQs I'm going to be going over with you. In addition, I am going to be telling you the very little thing that is going to hook your readers that I do during the character creation process. All right, so question number 1 is, once you have all of your main questions figured out about the character, what do you think is the next most important question? I believe that the next most important question is to understand what your character believes in. Number 2, what should I do if I am struggling to develop a character? I am always going to suggest read. Find your inspiration character. Even though it's not going to be your character, Have someone that's an inspiration to kind of remind you what you love, especially if it's a character you are writing that you don't seriously love, right? Find your inspiration character, read to find that inspiration character. My next piece of advice is if you're having a hard time just getting a general feel for the character, go on Pinterest and look at characters. Find one that strikes you, and then all of a sudden, like just through this one photograph, you can see so much about the character that you really didn't see in the beginning. I don't know what it is about art that helps you visualize and see each person for how they are and who they are, but it's really incredible how art speaks to people, and I don't want you to underestimate that, especially in the brainstorming process. The kind of third tip I would do would be to do personality test, right? So go look up your character's horoscope, go see what they're like, go do a Myers-Briggs test for them, get on Facebook and do a personality test, whatever the case may be, go do it. Woo! This last question is a doozy! This last question is, if you're writing multiple points of view, how do you make this specific character sound different than all of the other characters that you write? So for Meredith, for this particular example, she has flowery language, so her sentences are longer, they're a little more eloquent. Another thing is that as she's reviewing everything, I make sure to see it through her eyes. Meredith in specific is very vain and she's very insecure, and this kind of weird combination has her always rationalize either what she's doing, what she's seeing. She has a way to twist everything to make it look like her benefit, to make it look like, oh, poor Meredith. That's just kind of who she is. And lastly, she loves clothing. She loves hair and makeup and shoes. And so if you look at my other characters, they're not really going to be talking about the way somebody looks, what outfit they're in. They're not going to describe it, but she is going to be always looking at somebody's shoes. She's always going to be judging people on their hair and on their makeup. All right, so the last thing that I do to hook my readers, put a comment below. Let me know, how do you think I hook my readers during the character creation process? I'm gonna tell you. So I figure out where this character fits into the world. In this specific case, Meredith is my main character's half-sister. Once you figure out where she is in the world, kind of who she's related to, who she will be seeing kind of in a daily life, you need to draw lines. And these lines are going to be that one specific relationship with that one other character. And you need to write why there's tension. It could either be the tension from the character to another character, or it could be another character's tension with this specific character. I'll give you an example. So Meredith has an older brother who has special needs. And she is in charge of helping the family make sure he is taken care of. In her opinion, she resents him because, oh my gosh, he can take care of himself. He is older than me. I do not need to babysit him. So that's tension from her towards him, and you see that in every single interaction, even if it's not like some huge blow up, even if she doesn't say that, you still see that underlying tension there. So the next type of tension you can have is from someone towards that character. And in this specific case, I made her mother the person that has this tension with her. In her opinion, she's got this beautiful child that has all the potential in the world, but she's just not good enough. And so every interaction that her mother has with her, you see that underlying belief there. Now you need to do this for everyone your character interacts with. So tell me in the comments below, have you ever done this with a character? If you have, how did it feel? How did it work out? Is this a technique you believe in? If it's not something you've ever done with a character, tell me, are you going to give it a try? If so, how are you going to give it a try? And let me know how it feels. All right, so now you know my big secret on how to hook readers. You know how I create characters and that I am oddly into human sacrifice. What? Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you got value from it, hit that like button. Also, please go check out my channel. Click subscribe, ring that bell. Let's have some fun with it. Realize I am here to be helping aspiring authors with tips and techniques on how to improve their writing. If this is something you're interested in, please leave a comment below. Let me know. I am doing this video as a 50 video challenge for the Write Now or Never series. Thank you.